Birthday viewers, welcome back to the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. As you can see, I'm still home, not at the studio, and I long to be back there. But I want to continue with another message on our secular social clubs versus secular movement. The first episode I discussed how wonderful it is that many of these secular communities that are popping up throughout the country, around the world, meet the needs of non-believers. We have that social club aspect, which is all good. We also have movement. So I want to talk about the progressive humanist movement today. First of all, we do have a very progressive philosophy of life, which is humanism. It is advancing. Now make sure we understand the word progressive. Progressive is simply advancing ahead, developing gradually in stages and small incremental changes. So it's advancing ahead, whereas conservatism simply means opposition to change, holding to traditional views, attitudes, and values. So let me briefly go over some of these issues of change for progressive change that we can actually do under the banner of this beautiful worldview called humanism. I don't have time to touch and discuss each one of these issues at length. I'm just going to rattle them off quickly. Here are some progressive issues for change. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was signed back in 1948. All 30 articles about freedom and equality of all humans. If you haven't read and studied this, please do your research on this. Civil rights, of course, now we see this very important issue in our country. Social justice, social welfare, women's reproductive rights, LGBT community equality, environmentalism, promoting the EPA, population control, church and state separation, that's huge, world peace, anti-war, ending world hunger, promoting science education, promoting public schools. There is a war against our public schools. We want to keep that intact. Climate change. There are many things we can do under the humanist banner that are progressive. Now, here's the big $1 million question. Can we, as secular humanists, as unbelievers, as atheists and agnostics, can we have within our respective secular communities, can we have both the social club aspect and the movement all under one roof? You know what my answer is on that. And before I talk about that, I want to tell you a quick little story. This is about 2 or 3 years ago. I used to go into churches, not to preach like I used to, but just to have friendly dialogue with believers, do interviews and so forth. Now, I don't do this anymore. But I went into a large mega church here in Austin. Huge. I went in between the services into a large lobby. They had everything that we humans need and desire. They had music playing in the background. They had welcoming greeters at the front door. They had people all around enjoying their company and relationship with other people. They had a breakfast burrito stand. They had a coffee shop. They had everything that we humans love as a social animal. They have the social club aspect and content. And I had a discussion with 3 women, 3 young ladies. Their husbands were off in the men's prayer breakfast time. Their children were off in the Sunday school. I had a discussion with these ladies and I asked them, ladies, what attracts you to this church? Because there's all different type of churches. You're all serving the same God, using the same Bible, but what attracts you to this particular church? And they began to explain to me all the things that church offers them as far as a social network. They said, we have wonderful people in this church. We feel welcome. We have community. We have our friends here. Our life is built around this church. We have community. We meet during the middle of the week in women's groups. Our husbands go out golfing during the week or on the weekends. They go out and have prayer breakfasts. The children are in their Sunday school classes, learning Bible stories. And they meet throughout the week. These are important things that all humans desire. The social club aspect. And I asked them, ladies, is there anything else besides these things you do that attracts you here? They said, this was all important, but we also, and hear me out, we also send missionaries out. We also support other churches. We also go out and talk to people about Christianity and about Jesus, right? We disagree there, but they have a right to do that. Within that building, under that one roof, there was a group of probably 1,000 to 2,000 people in this large church, maybe more, if you add all the various services they have on Sundays, of people. All the social aspects they have there. But also, they had a movement. The movement was to spread their message, which they think benefits the world and makes a better world. They have a right to do that. Now, to answer my question, and yes, it is yes, the answer. And you can see a big capital Y, underlined 3 or 4 times, 2 or 3 exclamation marks. Yes, we can have both. Now, if your secular club, your secular community group, is based on just pure social club, that's okay. This is non-coercive. But if you want to be more proactive, you can be under one roof. Now, we already have the national organizations that I promote and support, as well as the local ones. When I go out Saturday mornings, pass out literature promoting humanism, we have the great organizations that are nonprofit movements. We have the American Humanist Association. We have the American Atheist. We have Freedom from Religion Foundation. We have Foundation Beyond Belief and many, many, many others doing wonderful things. But I'm talking about the individual groups in our local towns and cities, wherever you may be on planet Earth. We have examples on every other street corner on how this works. It's been proven. Churches, mosques, temples, synagogues, many of these groups of people, fellow humans, have the social club and the movement all under one roof. Now you may be saying, David, how do you know about this? What are your credentials? Well, I think you know my credentials. You know what I used to do. If you've been watching my show for the last 5 years and heard me do my public speaking, I used to be a Christian evangelist in the 70s and 80s. I worked on both sides, for Christianity, now for secular humanism. Folks, we're all human, we're all the same. Now, I've got a couple suggestions. If you want in your secular clubs that are built around social aspects, all the good stuff, if you want to move into the progressive issues and you want to make positive changes, here's a suggestion. Find a progressive issue that I've already mentioned a few minutes ago, that whole list. Find an issue in your area of expertise and passion. If you're like me and you have a passion, you live it, you breathe it, you sleep it, you eat it. But you have to do something. This is called humanism in action. Find your area. Do something. Be a spoke in the wheel. We have a large secular wheel that's progressing ahead, making change. That's good. But we need more spokes in that wheel. Spokes and wheels support the wheel in motion. They keep it balanced. We already have a lot of spokes of debate against Christians or with Christians. That's fine. We need to find balance. I found my spoke, and I'm happy doing what I do. I found an area that not many people want to do, because we do have a positive, progressive message. And there are people looking for this out there that are leaving Christianity. And they want to make positive changes. Be a spoke in the wheel. Start a proactive group within your humanist group. Go to the board, go to the president, discuss it with them. Let them vote on it. Do some action. I tell you what, the markers of meaningful existence are only measurable within the context of something larger than self. You find something that matters, that can benefit others, that advances ahead under the banner of humanism. You'll find happiness, meaning in life, and purpose outside of just ourselves. Now, as an example, about 3 years ago, I am a member of the atheist community of Austin. I'm also a member of the other groups here in town, and many of the national groups. I work for them all. Everybody's got their niche in our groups, in our worldview of humanism and atheism, and that's all good. We have different flavors. But I went to the board because I saw a need. I saw plenty of other spokes in the wheel, but there was an imbalance. There weren't enough people going out doing what I used to do for Jesus back in the 70s and 80s. In public, I hold up signs. Most of you know what I do. There wasn't any of that going on at that time at ACA. I took my idea, took it to the board, and presented it to them. They all said yes. They voted on it. They gave me the money for it. And I set up the Atheist Community of Austin booth at a particular small town close to Austin. And we were there for about 2 or 3 years. We met many people, wonderful people, normalizing unbelievers to a very religious community. It was great. There's so many benefits to that. But I found a spoke, my spoke. I found a need and I filled it. We can advance and move ahead. We have a wonderful, not perfect, but a wonderful philosophy and worldview called secular humanism. We can make progressive change. We can also add the movement aspect to our secular social clubs and have both under the same roof. All right, thanks for watching the Preaching Humanist with David Oliverio. You have a good day, and remember to let the light of secular humanism shine.
What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
No, you're done.